Everybody out there bitch got a phone.
Everybody out there bitch got a phone. Literally. Phone up. You know, nigga got some money.
Everybody out there bitch got a phone.
Yeah. Anybody want to come to prison, this could be your new home. Most definitely. I'm pretty sure you don't want to be here. But you can. Prison life.
Hey, nigga, we let these niggas go, nigga. We gonna turn up in this motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, niggas ain't doing no faking.
Nah.
My nigga right there, nigga. You got a tour real quick. Let them know that we in this motherfucking live.
Show this shit. Hey, they ain't getting in.
Yeah.
They getting in this motherfucker.
They trying to, though.
Hey, look at the office. Look at the office.
Yeah, we gotta get the office one time for the
They
folks.
ain't giving us no health care for this coronavirus.
This is what happens when y'all got niggas going crazy.
For ourselves. The homie done got the jacket on.
Yeah, man, we gotta get the people a tour, man. Fox Sports said they want a tour, so we gotta give them a tour.
They ain't coming in.
Huh? We gotta give them a tour real quick.
You think you understand what prison means. You imagine bars and cells and orange jumpsuits. You think it's just punishment, just time served, just paying a debt. You have no idea what prison actually is. Prison isn't a place. It's a systematic dismantling of everything that makes you human. It's the slow destruction of your mind, your identity, your ability to exist as anything more than a caged animal waiting for the next threat. By the end of this video, you'll understand why freedom isn't just a privilege. It's the difference between being human and being inventory stored in concrete until someone decides you can be human again. Because prison doesn't rehabilitate, it breaks. And what comes out the other side isn't the person who went in.
Someone who I'd been incarcerated with had been manipulated into changing his sexual orientation. It happened in the way you would least expect it. I was out in the dorm playing poker and boom, the doors pop and a new guy walks in. Now in this particular dorm, there was a ritual. Some guy, when a new guy walked in, would scream out, "Hey, that's the guy who stole my lawnmower." This guy had already had the deer in the headlights, I can't believe I'm in here type look on him, but as soon as he heard that, all bravado went out the window. 20 seconds after coming in the dorm, the sharks are already on him. And what they're doing to him now is what I like to call soft extortion. Soft extortion is where you befriend them, try to rizz them up, and then see what you can get them to do for you. For instance, "Hey man, will you spray this while we smoke? Hey man, can I borrow a soup?" etc, etc. And when I say this poor guy didn't stand a chance, I mean, man, he was cooked. Now before I get a comment like, "Drake, why didn't you help him?" You can't help these guys. Your life depends on it. Now with that being said, if I'd known this guy from a previous encounter or maybe out in the world, I'd have put him up on game, but I didn't. So as the days and weeks progressed, this guy evolved from do boy to sex boy. Now I'm not going to say he deserved it, but I'm not going to lie and say he didn't, because what he did to accelerate this progression was completely on him. So one day this man sits down at the poker table and they're like, "You know how to play?" He's like, "Yeah, I need credit." You see, when you're incarcerated, you're bored to death. There's not much to do. You can either gamble, join a gang, or engage in homosexual activity. I chose to gamble. I'm at the poker table, I'm gambling, and I remember it like yesterday. I mean, I was getting popped that day. I mean, my skull was getting pushed back to the white meat. So this man sits down, he gets like 20 bucks in credit, and they're like, "Yeah, when are you gonna hit?" He's like, "Oh man, my money coming Friday, my girlfriend will shoot it to me." It wasn't an entire hour later that this man is completely out of money. They ate him up out there. I mean, he didn't know how to play at all. He goes, "That's fine, give me another 20. Like, okay, so now this dude's at 40. This dude ends up playing all day and gets down 200. Now, 9 out of 10 times when this happens, the guy will usually check out of the dorm, but I don't think this guy was seasoned enough to even know that was a thing. I mean, he was green. Now, the store day where he promised to pay the money, I done came and went like twice. And the particular affiliation that was running the poker table pushes up on him in his cell. They push up on him, they're like, "Hey, my boy, da-da-da, like, you're gonna pay us." And he's like, "Oh, man, my girl broke bad on me, woo-de-woo." And they're like, "What's that got to do with us?" Before they beat him up pretty good, they tried to see exactly how far he would go. So they had this man washing their underwear, cooking food for him, shaving off his eyebrows. I mean, they had him doing everything. Now this is the part of the story where the sexual immorality begins to start. This man got broomsticked pretty good. And if you don't know what broomsticked is, use your imagination. You're putting a broom where it's not supposed to go. They were really being gentle with him because they didn't break it off inside of him, but that's where the door starts to open for the other activities. So within a month and a half, this guy goes from a normal guy to using the coloring off M&Ms for eyeshadow, tying up his shirt to appear that he had breasts. So there's about a million things he could have done differently to prevent this from happening, but I guess the top few is don't gamble and say no.
Your day begins before you're ready. Fluorescent lights slam on at 5 in the morning, harsh and artificial, flooding your cell with brightness that feels like violence. Metal doors crash open. A guard's voice barks commands you'll hear thousands of times. Count time, stand by your bed, face forward, don't move until you're cleared. You're not waking up. You're being jolted back into awareness of your reality. That split second before you remember where you are is the only peace you'll experience all day. Then memory floods back, and you realize this is day 300 or day 2000. The number stops mattering because they all blend into one crushing, endless present.
Telling y'all, some of the toughest guys in prison be gay. Now let me say this, I'm not coming against anybody that's gay, I'm not saying anything against that, but I'm talking about some of the guys that be in prison. Look, one day when I was in Jackson prison, and I was new, I'd never been in prison before, right? So I'm in prison, I'm walking back to my cell after I've gone through what they call quarantine, where you're in your cell for 23 hours a day. So I spent about 2 months in quarantine, pretty much solitary confinement, right? So one day I'm walking, back to my cell, and I look in my cell before I get there, and there's a piece of candy on my bed. I think it was a Snickers or something like that. So, and I'm like, oh, that was real nice of somebody to, give me a Snickers. And I was about to go in there, and I was about to eat that Snickers, and I don't know where this guy came from, and he was like, bro, do not eat that candy. I was like, why? He said, don't you know in prison they put candy on your bed, letting you know that they like you, that they want to get with you? If you eat that candy, you saying that you belong to somebody. And I was like, what? See, I didn't know none of this stuff when I got in prison. And I remember one other time in prison. In prison, when you're in there, every so often they have to do a head count to make sure that nobody's escaped from prison, right? So they're doing a head count at this one time, right? And so they're looking for these 2 guys, and they're missing. So they're thinking that somebody tried to escape, right? So alarms go off, blah, blah, blah. They end up finding, it was this real little guy and this real big guy. They end up finding these guys inside the bathroom stall, and this big guy got this guy off the ground up against the wall, just wearing him out sexually. This is what you see every day. Just one more story. Another friend of mine, man, this was one of the toughest guys in prison. He came from behind the wall. He had just did 10 years behind the wall. Guy was buffed up, man, been down for a long time. And I looked at this dude. I kind of looked up to him, man, because he was hard as a mug. So one day I come upstairs, man. I walked up the steps going back to my cell, and there's a little area behind the cell. Here this brother go behind the cell back there, wearing this other brother out. And for me at this point, it is like, man, y'all just cut. My thing was, when I went to prison, my first thing was, you ain't getting none of this, but if you're going to get some of this behind, there's going to be some dead cold behind, but you will not touch this.
2 people in the world, victims and victimizers. Which one are you going to be? Me, already in the gang, said that I'm not going to be no victim. I'm not going to be no victim, I'm going to be a victimizer. So I started idolizing this man. I started putting every effort I could in to be this man, I want what he wanted. He had the respect, he had the honor that I felt like I wanted. So in the penitentiary, 18 years in the penitentiary, I did that. During my last time going back into prison, with my 4th time, as the judge is reading off my past and my new 4 felony charges, I'm smiling on the inside. And as I'm smiling, just waiting for all my brothers to hear these new charges that I know I'm going to get some rank, I'm going to move up in rank. The judge said my ACC 40 years. My whole life's changed right there. And I felt sick to my stomach. I started acting up in the courtroom, and the judge escorted me out. And as I go into the cell, I'm in the cell by myself. I have STG files, so they isolate us. So as I'm by myself, I sit there and evaluate my life, and I started crying for the first time ever in my whole life I can remember.
Story time. This is Bledsoe, which is classification in Tennessee, and you go there and they take your blood and do all this stuff, and then they just send you to whatever prison is open. But at this time, they started this deal where we had to take these classes called cognitive behavior. They changed the name on it, but I believe that's what it's called at that time. And so you'd go up there during the day and do these classes, and you'd come back. Well, one morning while we was all over there, the guys that cleaned the pod were in the pod, and the CO was in his little office there, and they noticed he's just slumped over. And so they go in there, and they have them little radios, and they hit the little emergency button on it, and so they come in there, and the CO had a heart attack. And these 3 inmates saved his life. If they wouldn't have done that, he would no longer be here. And here's what they did for him. They sent him to the worst prison in the state of Tennessee. True story.
Your cellmate is 6 feet away. You heard him breathe all night. You heard him move. You heard things you never wanted to hear. He heard you too. Privacy doesn't exist anymore. It died the moment those doors closed behind you.
So if you were going to guess, who is the prisoner that gets it the absolute worst when they get in prison? Like, who's treated beyond recognition just awfully? I would think federal prosecutors or cops. And then the most clear-cut one I would have thought was child. But I just watched a documentary that, wow, shed light on a whole group of people that isn't big, but they get it far worse than anybody you can imagine. And that is kids that shoot up schools. Oh my God. The last 5 or 6 kids that have shot up schools that have now been to prison get brutalized in ways you could never imagine. And why I'm conflicted about it is I don't like anybody going to prison. I think jails are an absolute joke. But for some reason, I want people to know about this. I want it to be known because I'm hoping that would be a deterrent. Although it probably won't because most of them are crazy anyway. But if they knew that their life is going to be absolute hell, would that stop them from doing this? Probably not.
A lot of people ask me, what's the worst thing that I've seen in prison? The worst thing that I've seen in prison was someone boiled, because we have hot pots, or some facilities have stoves. Someone boiled water in their hot pot, put some baby oil in there, crushed a light bulb, put it in there, came out, and threw it in someone's face. Their whole face melted. Their whole face was full of glass. And now the dude, the eyes like out of the eye socket, never healed properly. And I still have nightmares about that. That person threw boiling baby oil water and a crushed light bulb onto someone's face. And that person will never be the same. That is the worst thing I've ever seen in prison. And I still have nightmares about it. It was terrible.
You move through your routine in 15-minute increments controlled by people who don't know your name. You eat when they tell you to eat, not when you're hungry, not when it's convenient, when the bell rings and the doors open, and you have exactly 17 minutes to get your tray, consume whatever they've served, and return it. You shower when they tell you to shower, 5 to 8 minutes in a space with no privacy, no doors, no dignity. The walls are concrete. The floor is concrete. The ceiling is concrete. Every surface is hard, cold, unforgiving.
So if you hear people say, oh, prison's like a holiday camp, just remember this. When I was there, my cellmate was getting bullied and he cut his own throat because he couldn't cope. Now imagine that, waking up, 2 o'clock in the morning, your cellmate's covered in blood, got a razor blade in his hand, and I'm locked in there with him.
So in the Ohio prison system, there's a dude they call Box Cutter. And they call him Box Cutter because he's from Chillicothe, which is in Ross County, and he murdered his girlfriend's family with a box cutter. Then he murdered another guy in the county jail. Then he murdered another guy in the hole at Lebanon prison. Then on the transport bus on the way to Lucasville, he murdered an inmate. And then while he was at Lucasville, him and another inmate stabbed a CO like 30 times. He didn't die, but they sent him to OSP for that. And then when they asked him why he did it, he said he was going to be the first person to become a serial killer inside the prison system.
The worst crimes I ever seen committed while I was incarcerated for 8 years. It was a dude I was locked up with that used to gamble all the time. When I say all the time, he used to gamble all the time, and he always had money on his books. But this particular day, he was gambling on a football game on Sunday. And everybody who's been locked up, they know on Sundays, we had them parlays going around and pick'em sheets. And there's dudes who get the magazines in there and they make the pick'ems and we play. Well, he made a side bet with a guy that was off in there against this parlay, you know, just in case he lost this one, he'll win this bet. Well, the dude ended up losing like $200. Well, normally when you lose, people will tell you, hey, when you get paid, shoot me 50 this time, 50 that time. That way you'll have that extra 35 for yourself. Back then, it was $85 a store spend limit. Well, when he went to store, he didn't have no money on his books. So when he came back to the tank, his partners and them told him, you know what I'm saying, hey, why you betting on your ass. Basically, you know, you ain't got no money on your books and you over here betting. If you knew that money wasn't there for sure, you should have never been betting. Well, the other people, they didn't give a damn about none of that. They like, hey man, you need to pay up, man. I need my money. All in all, he couldn't pay. Y'all, his team went in that cell. About 3 of them Hispanics went off in there and beat the living shit out of that man off in there till he was unrecognizable. When they came through for meal call, they was knocking on the door, you know, telling him to, you know, get his meal. Normally they'll push the mail up under the door, but they didn't push the mail up under the door at that time. They waited, told him he need to come up there so they could see his face with his ID to make sure they was giving the mail to the right person. And when he came up there, they shit everybody down in that bitch. One side of that man's face looked like Martin when Tommy Hearns whooped his ass, y'all. We was locked down for 6 months behind that shit.
Sound bounces off these surfaces and amplifies into a constant assault. Metal doors slamming echoes through corridors. Keys jangling announces authority approaching. Voices carry through ventilation systems. You hear arguments from cells you can't see. You hear violence you can't stop. You hear men breaking down, and there's nothing you can do except recognize that tomorrow it might be your voice echoing through these halls. The smell never leaves. It's institutional disinfectant mixed with unwashed bodies, processed food, and something you can't identify but know is desperation soaked into walls. It gets in your clothes, your skin, your hair. You stop noticing after a while, but visitors notice immediately. You smell like prison even when you're clean.
And then for me, number one, like I said, I did Attica twice. That's the worst prison ever. That shit like Guantanamo Bay. Why? Because number one, what happens in Attica, that shit like Vegas. You know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? What happens in Attica stays in Attica. You think you getting something off a camera and all that shit disappeared mad fast, bro. So, look up that, I want people to look up that camera footage when these non-police try to get me and I pop on a sergeant because I don't know what's wrong with these. But they made me turn like that. Attica turn you into a super demon, you know? Because you gotta be amongst the devils and you gotta survive, you know? I love God, I put God first, but everything I do is righteous. And over there, they was just playing unfair. So sometimes you just had to play unfair to let them know I'm not the one to mess with, you know?
What's the worst thing you've seen in prison? And he's no friend of mine. He has racist tendencies, but his mother died. And so all he wanted to do was phone his family and have that conversation with his family. And the officer said, kick the door again. He was getting frustrated because he wanted to make the phone call and they wouldn't allow him to. And so he kicked it. He said, come on lads, let's suit up. And they beat him so much. Do you know when it almost became inhuman? And he wet himself. He beat a person so much that they wet themselves. And they were laughing about it. And I remember some of the women officers as well, they're wiggling their little fingers because he weren't welling down. So they were laughing at him when they cut his clothes and so forth. And I think for me, psychologically, that always impacted on me. Like, no matter how much you may dislike a human being as well, though, but to subject him to that kind of treatment, it's not right. So I think that's what kind of impacted on me as well, that I saw in prison. Degrading someone? Yeah, so bad. What's the worst thing about being in prison, Dan?
Straight away, having your freedom, so your choice. But, you know, being a fucking adult and looking back, the shit what you've got to put your fucking family through, you know. I must have put my mum and dad through shit, brothers and sisters shit, but not only just the shit and the loss, but spending all them years apart. I've not seen my sisters have a life, they've not seen their little brother have a life. So just having them things took away from you, and all the possibilities what I could have had in life. I haven't got a clue what my life would have been like if I never went to prison. I haven't got a clue. Might have kids, big house, big divorce even by now. I don't know. Yeah, and I could have, yeah.
The light is always wrong. Too bright during the day from fluorescent bulbs that hum constantly, drilling into your skull. Too dim at night with security lights that never fully turn off. Your body can't tell day from night anymore. Your circadian rhythm collapses. You exist in perpetual twilight that's neither day nor night, but something wrong and artificial that your brain wasn't designed to process.
Number one, you find out that all your so-called friends ain't really your friends, bro, and they don't give a fuck about you, bro. They don't write you, they don't answer your phone call, put money on the phone. They don't give a fuck. They don't even ask people about you, bro. They don't even ask your baby mama if they need some money for their baby or nothing, G. Number two, you get stripped of your privacy from showers and restrooms, bro. For the next 5, 10, whatever, how much time, years you get, you ain't gonna be taking a shit nor a shower by yourself. Number three, your favorite fast food ain't In-N-Out, Burger King, none of that. It's gonna be the peanut butter and jelly big sandwich and the big chicken sandwich. Number four, which is positive if you ask me, because you stay away from all the drugs, alcohol that was decreasing your health, and you're gonna work out, you know what I'm saying? Plus, you're gonna stay away from all the skunkas that take away your money and give you STDs and bring them back home, player. Number five, which is probably one of the most important ones, bro. You learn respect. You learn how to live by yourself, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got your mom, your partner holding your hand and none of that. And most of all, bro, you learn to stop doing la bolsita, way, porque you keep going to jail, perro.
Things you should always do in federal prison, or prison in general. Here we go. Number one is always show respect. Respect get you a long way in prison, man. If you disrespectful, you're gonna see what's gonna happen to you. Niggas is big on respect in federal prison, bruh. Trust me, I already know. Number two, mind your fucking business, my nigga. If you see some niggas talking and you hear the conversation, don't walk up and join the conversation. You feel me? Mind your fucking business unless a nigga talking to you. You feel me? Number three, never go talk to the CO by yourself. Always bring a witness with you. Because niggas can look at it like you done snitched on somebody or gave a kite, especially if something happened. If a raid or a shakedown occur, always bring a witness, my nigga. Number four, never fart next to nobody, bro. That shit is disrespectful and disgusting. Even if you in your cell and you got to fart, sit on the toilet, flush the toilet while you fart, my nigga. Show some respect. Number five, it's a big one too. Never steal, my nigga. If you see something sitting right there, don't go touch it, my nigga. It ain't yours, bro. Law of the land is never steal, my nigga. That's stealing to get you killed, bro. Ran off the yard, killed, or some shit happened to you, trust me. Niggas hate a thief like they hate a snitch, trust me. Number six, always be there for your homies, my nigga. Rock with your car through thick and thin. I don't care if a battle shake out. You better be there with them. They got their knives out. You better have your knives out too. You better rock with your niggas or they gonna kill you or run you off that yard. Number seven, don't be a jailhouse snitch, man. That shit ain't gonna get you nowhere, man. Like things I used to do when I ride a kite, I let my homie or somebody else read it before I go turn it in, because I don't want no niggas thinking I done told them something. Number eight, man, if you walk past a nigga, say excuse me, bro. That goes with the lines of being showing respect, bro. Always say excuse me, man. When you walk past anybody, I don't give a fuck if it's 10 niggas right there, you gotta say excuse me 10 times. Say excuse my nigga, that get you a long way. Number nine, if you in a child hall, my nigga, don't cut in between tables, bro. And make sure you sit at your assigned table, man, because in federal prison, every car got their own set of tables, my nigga. Don't be cutting in and all that shit go around, my nigga. That shit'll get you fucked up, bro. That'll cause some tension on the yard, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Number 10, if you walk into your cell, man, don't be looking at no other niggas' cells or all that shit, man. Niggas, mind your business, like I said. Not looking no other niggas' cell, that's not your business, like I said. Mind your fucking business. You can get hurt doing them shit like that. And the last one but not least, man, wash your fucking ass, man. The water in the feds is free, my nigga. Don't no niggas be wanting to smell it, dirty ass, funky ass nigga, bro. Wash your ass, bro. Like, goddamn, I don't know what niggas be doing. Like, wash your ass, bruh. It's free. You ain't paying no motherfucking bill, nigga. It's free.
Time doesn't pass in prison. It accumulates. Each day adds weight that never lifts. You count down obsessively, but the numbers don't bring comfort. They bring awareness of how much you've already lost and how much more you still have to lose. Minutes feel like hours. Hours feel like days. Days blur into weeks that somehow stretch into months that you can't believe you've survived. You mark time in ways free people don't understand. By counts, by meals, by the rotation of guard shifts, by how many times you've walked the yard in circles going nowhere, by books you've read to escape your reality, by letters you've written that say the same thing differently because there's nothing new to say when nothing ever changes.
Listen, y'all are a different type of messy, because when I tell you, I done got about 5 people that sent me this to my inbox. I'm like, have I been under a rock? Because I don't know who the hell this man is. But because these pictures that got sent to me, I had to go and do my own investigation. So I never heard of this man. I don't know who the man is, but his name is London Luckett, and he's out of Chicago. And he brutally Michael Myers his girlfriend and was sentenced to 2 life sentences as well as a 25-year sentence for armed robbery, right? And so I guess after he got sentenced, when he went down to prison, he got turned out, or turned himself out, one. But when I tell y'all about prison stories, and I be talking about turnout punks, like Tubbs, this is a prime example. If he got sentenced in 2022 and he used to look like this, that means in a matter of not even 3 years, he done went down there and either turned himself out or got turned out, and now he done went from this to this. Now, I want to clarify a few things, because I realize, based on how I see a lot of people talking about this, they don't fully understand how deep that turnout shit goes. To be clear, just because you come to prison with a crazy sentence, it does not automatically mean people are gonna be there waiting for you, or gonna be, it doesn't necessarily mean that, because it's people in there that done far worse and ain't got touched. So I wanna be clear on that. Just because he went in there, it doesn't mean people was waiting on him to do that to him. Be very clear. I will say this, light-skinned or light-complected dudes like him that have like a young appearance, they got a cute face, I will say they are targets. They are targets for what you would consider booty bandits. Those are the type of people that target them in there, like them booty bandit type of real freaked out, crazy dudes, like Damon from Friday After Next. That is a fact. So when you know that you are already considered a target like that, like, baby, you got to at least go in there and know how to fight or something, because they going to be on you, because look how he look. He's decent looking. He light-skinned. They was going to be on him regardless. Now, be very clear. Just because he look like that now, that does not mean when he got down there that they just took his ass and just did that to him. It very well could have happened like that. I'm not saying it didn't, but I am also saying there are other factors that come in to play when you're dealing with people that come into prison and they become turnouts. Like that story time I did with y'all when I was talking about Tubbs. Tubbs was not cute at all. Tubbs looked like Bookman from Good Times. Ain't no man just gonna be going after Tubbs to try to lay up with him and turn him out. Tubbs turned his damn self out, right? Some dudes, and it's just being honest, some dudes will go to prison and they don't have no family to look out for them. They don't got no money. They don't have nothing. They broke, they busted up, and they may see like the punks in prison getting a lot of money, and you know, like the dudes do when you go down there, they see that and they might realize that, like, I can get some bread and make some free money and be living good if I do that. You know what I'm saying? And it just happens. It happens.
Your cellmate isn't your choice. He's assigned. 6 by 8 feet, shared with another human being for 16 to 23 hours a day, depending on security level. You can touch both walls simultaneously. You memorize every crack in the concrete, every stain on the floor, every imperfection in the ceiling, because there's nothing else to look at. You hear everything through these walls. Conversations you don't want to hear. Violence you can't stop. Sexual assault happening to someone who has no escape. Men crying for mothers who might be dead. Men losing their minds in real time while you're powerless to help or escape the sounds of human breakdown.
The lies that men tell women while we're locked up. When I get out, we're gonna get married, start a family, have kids. You're the only one that I'm talking to. I'm so lucky to have you. I'm in trouble, please put money on my books. I don't even talk to my ex. I'm in here, I'm just working on myself, trying to be a better person. I didn't do it, I was framed. You're the only one that's actually putting money on my books. I never wanted this life, I just made some bad mistakes. You mean the world to me. I'm 100% happy with it just being with you the rest of my life. The fact is, while we're locked up in prison, we have hundreds of women that just want to talk to us, write to us, even the ones that aren't so good looking. They still have a bunch of women that want to write to them, put money on their books, help them out, act like they're, they think that they're doing such a good deed. But the truth is, a lot of what we say to you women while we're locked up in prison, we're lying, we're in survival mode, and we're just trying to get paid.
Man, there wasn't no story time, but not none of that cap ass shit these niggas be doing on this bitch. So, boom. So I wake up one morning in there, hoe, hit my gun, hit that water. I'm trying to go pull up on that Adam goddamn. So, boom, the door locked in this hoe. That's somebody, we on lockdown in this bitch. Sound like, damn, why the fuck we on lockdown? Man, these niggas, somebody, nigga done got a motherfucking gun in the prison. Somebody, little people, he trying to show me the video of the nigga ass. Somebody, the nigga posted up with the gun on their lap with the goddamn police vest on. Somebody, this nigga really got a gun inside the prison with the police vest on. Going live. Somebody, instead of breaking out, this nigga hopped on live, fool. Throwing up GD and shit all on live, fool. All type of goddamn different police come to the prison. They got drones flying by the window talking at that motherfucker. Put the gun down, sir. Surrender. This nigga acting like he really ready to check out. And these folks ready to do it to his ass. Somebody whole door laid on the ground, goddamn. Nigga telling his ass, if you ain't ready to go out like Cleo, get out of there. He still faking around that hoe. And this nigga still ain't whack not shit. Somebody, this nigga did all of this shit just for the police to come Batista bomb his ass and put him all in handcuffs and take his ass to lock up. Nigga ain't heard for the nigga ass since.
The hierarchy is absolute. Your race determines where you sit, who you talk to, who protects you, who tries to hurt you. It's forced segregation enforced through violence. Cross the wrong line and your own people beat you unconscious for violating invisible boundaries that carry life or death consequences. Your crime defines your status. Some crimes bring respect, some bring connections, some paint targets on your back that never disappear. Your past follows you like a shadow, and there's no redemption, no second chances, no forgiveness. You are what you did, forever. And the social structure reflects that permanence in brutal clarity.
When that door hit, my face hit to the ground immediately. And all I saw was 4 people.
Take your time. I know this has got to be very difficult to talk about.
I never knew what it was like to be jumped or to be like gang beat up or anything. But having 6 built guys around me, hitting, beating, and holding me down, and taking turns without having any way to get out, even struggling. Like I tried, I struggled to the point to where they're literally, it took 2 of them just to keep me down.
Cities in prison that really like them boys. Now, most cities, you don't see a lot of sexual activity from like the 80s to the mid 2000s. I can't speak on what's going on inside the prison system now, but when I was in there from the late 80s to the mid 2000s, because I got out in 2005, December. Now, when I was in there, one state, well, as a district, the District of Columbia, I got to give it to them boys. They love boys. Now, DC, they don't have a problem with it. You ain't gonna go to no federal institution where you ain't gonna see the guy from DC that's involved in homosexual activity. Now, can I speak on a lot of other states? Yes. You had some guys from Ohio, you had a couple of guys from Michigan, but the big California guys, you know, you had some, but it wasn't a lot. But DC, they run rapid through the federal system. They really love man on man.
Money creates power. Commissary accounts mean better food, basic hygiene products, small comforts that make existence slightly less unbearable. Having nothing means you're vulnerable, exploitable, disposable. Your financial status on the outside determines whether you survive on the inside with dignity or become someone's property. Every interaction is calculated. Every conversation has layers. Trust doesn't exist because everyone is using everyone else to survive. Alliances form out of necessity, not affection. These relationships dissolve the moment they stop being useful. Loyalty lasts only as long as mutual benefit continues.
No matter what, we have to hold on to hope and
have a goal before us and keep working towards it. And so no matter what we face, no matter how hard it is or it gets, we gotta hold on to that hope with everything we got. And my hope is to be free someday. And like I was saying earlier, my sentence is still 174 years plus 6 lives. But I feel like I'm closer to freedom than ever. And people ask me around the yard all the time, like, hey, when are you going home? Like, well, so now I don't. And they're like, but you're always smiling. Like, what do you want me to do? Want to walk around sad? I'm alive. I'm grateful for that. I feel blessed. There's a lot of people who aren't here anymore, who we wish could be here. And so a really cool thing happened recently. Captain of our facility is Captain Lesniak. In March of this year, he recommended me for 1170 recall and resentencing. And he submitted the paperwork. I met the requirements, and it went to Sacramento. The recall and resentencing is now with Kathleen Allison and Connie Gibson in Sacramento. And so Kathleen, Connie, if you're watching, my name is Jesse Milo. I was referred by captain of the facility, and I just hope to get another chance to be home with my family someday. And I thank you guys for the opportunity that we even have 1170 recall and resentencing, because in the past that wasn't even possible, right? And so to have an avenue where staff can recommend you for resentencing, it really is a pathway for somebody like me who all the sentencing reform, none of that has reached me yet. I'm in this weird area because they passed a lot of youth offender laws for anyone under 25 when they committed their crimes, but they excluded certain people. Like the previous guy you talked to, Mark said, they excluded him because he got sentenced to LWOP. So it wasn't necessarily his crime, it's just how he was sentenced. And me too, I was sentenced under the strike law for my crime. And so because of that, they excluded all strikers. And so something like 1170 creates a pathway for freedom to somebody like me.
Alright, so if you're easily triggered, do not watch this video because it will negatively impact you if you have a weak spirit. This is for the strong because I want to do this video for educational purposes about a horrific story that happened behind prison walls with a young man and how it changed his life forever. So this young man name was Michael, and he was only 19 or 20 years of age. So he was taken under the wing of an older guy named Jackson. And Jackson, you know, he was an OG in the prison. He had a little clout or whatever. So apparently, you know, he took Michael, the young man, under his wing. And Michael had borrowed some party favors from some of the other men in the prison or whatever. I believe that's what happened. But he had accrued a debt. Him and Jackson, the OG. So Jackson tells this young man, he convinces him that in order to pay this debt off, you know, so they don't come after us and I can protect you and my boys can protect you, you know, you got to do a little something that you might not be proud of. You know, they're going to want to come after you, so you're going to have to give them your body. Now, obviously, Michael, as a 19, 20-year-old young male, he's horrified. He don't want to do this. And he's like, there's no other way around it. You know, he's asking, you know, Jackson, why do I have to do this? And he's like, well, you got to do it. You the young one and they going to want you or whatever. So Jackson tells this young man, however, because I care about you and, I'm taking you up under my wing, I can prepare you for it. You know, I will do this act with you. We can practice. That way you're already, you know, conditioned to do this when, you know, the men come after you or whatever, right? So even though, although reluctant, Michael felt like he was backed in a corner. He didn't have a choice. So, you know, slowly he started to do these unthinkable acts with this OG in the prison that took him up under his wing, Jackson. And here's where it gets really strange. So they're doing this, and this went on for weeks because, again, he's preparing him for these men that's eventually going to want their peace, want their payback for these debts that they owed. After the deed was done and they carried this thing on for weeks, Michael is on the phone with his mom, and you know, he was telling his mom how Jackson was protecting him and looking out for him and making sure nobody hurt him. And what his mom told him next would change his entire life, and this man would have a nervous breakdown.
Violence isn't an event in prison. It's the atmosphere. It hangs in the air like smoke, seeps into your dreams like poison, becomes so normal that its absence feels wrong. You witness things that would hospitalize free people psychologically. You see human beings reduced to animals. You watch suffering that would make headlines on the outside, but here is just another Tuesday.
Look, it's 3 things you should never do in the county jail, fam. 1, never talk about your case. In the county jail, you got people in there that's been fighting the case for 3 years. You got people in there that's ready to jump on your case, fam. You could talk about your case, then go to court, then you see your bunkie as a witness on your case. Don't talk about your case. Close your mouth, fam. 2, never ask the bar nothing when you in the county jail. Never ask the bar no canteen or nothing like that. You feel me? Cause you could ask somebody, hey man, my pack come next week. I can hold a soup or chip till next week. Feel what I'm saying? Whole time you don't even much know the canteen lady or the canteen system. They could mess up your order, and your order may not come that week. So now you got people thinking you lying to them. You got people thinking you stealing. That's a bad thing to be known for as a thief in the county jail. Now you got people ready to fight you, all type of stuff. 3, never let nobody try you, fam. If you on that phone and everybody know you got next, you better get on that phone. Never let nobody skip you on that phone. Never let nobody try you, because as soon as that first person try you, now you got everybody in the dorm trying you because they think you weak, fam. Never let nobody try you. You gotta always be ready to fight over any little thing, fam. You gotta be on go.
Hey, I'm about to compare California prison cells to prison cells around other country. Watch this. All right, this is a prison cell in California. This I think this St. Quentin. This St. Quentin right here. Look at OG. This look like Delano or Wasco. This look like Delano or Wasco reception. You feel me? I was in there for a minute. Check out these cells from other countries though. What's that, Norway right there? That's crazy. That look like a fucking dorm room or something. Like they got a bathroom and a cut, like fucking like a Momo or something. That's crazy. Hey, look at this cell. What's this? This the Netherlands? And look at the sink right there, bro. Is that a computer? That's crazy. Hey, but look, don't think we got it the worst. Look at this shit. God dang.
The guards aren't protectors. They're another threat you navigate. They have absolute power over every aspect of your existence. Some are professionals doing a difficult job. Others are sadists who chose this career specifically to have power over helpless people. You never know which one you're dealing with until it's too late. Your mind rewires itself to survive conditions it wasn't designed to tolerate. Paranoia becomes rational because everyone actually is a potential threat. Hypervigilance becomes your default state because relaxation means vulnerability.
So when you first pull up to prison, when you get through classification, now it's time to go to your cell and meet your new cellie. Now you don't know who this guy is gonna be. You know what I mean? You don't know if he's gonna be a square. You don't know if he's gonna be a chomo or a predator. You know, he might not be your skin color. He might be from a rival gang. So you pretty much got to get ready for whenever you come in the cell with this dude, right? As I've said before in my videos, always make sure your shoes are tight and you're ready to swing them things. Because it can get ugly as soon as you get in the cell. Now, once you get in there, introduce yourself. Let them know where you're from. If you're from a gang, you got to tell them. You can ask him questions too. It's always smart to provide your paperwork as soon as you go in there with your cellie and ask him what he's in there for too. That way, if there's a problem, you can get it out the way quick. Now, there's protocol to having a cellie. For one, you're not going to be in the cell. You don't want to be in the cell full time because your cellie, he's going to want a bird bath. He's going to want to, read, jack off, just do whatever. You know what I mean? Cellies need cell time. So what you do is you make a schedule with your cellie. He's gonna get out at this certain time of the day. You're gonna get out at this certain time of the day. You know what I mean? Make sure that you keep your cell clean. Make sure you keep your toilet clean. If you're brushing the teeth, spit the foam in the toilet. Don't spit it in the sink. If you make a mess, clean it up immediately. If you have to pass gas, sit on the toilet and flush while you pass gas. You know what I'm saying? Because it can be a real problem. So, cellies is all about, you know, respect. And you can pretty much make it with anybody as a cellie, as long as, you know, there are no instant turnoffs or instant problems that you should have took care of whenever you came into the cell in the first place. It's all about respect. Avoid a problem, talk to your cellie, and you know, be clean. And it's mandatory that you ask the person, okay, what do you like and what do you not like? And you should be able to express the same thing to him. So y'all got a good understanding. Avoid the problem. You gotta talk it out with your cellie.
Your nervous system stays activated at crisis levels for so long that coming down feels impossible. Sleep becomes a nightmare, not just because of danger, but because your body forgets how to rest. You develop insomnia that might last forever. Night terrors wake you gasping. Sleep paralysis traps you in your body while your mind screams. You're exhausted constantly, but true rest never comes because rest requires feeling safe. And safety doesn't exist here. Your mental health deteriorates in ways that would require hospitalization on the outside. Depression isn't sadness, it's complete absence of feeling. Anxiety isn't worry, it's constant existential terror that never subsides. PTSD develops from daily trauma that never stops accumulating. You're not just stressed, you're psychologically damaged in ways that might never heal.
To my understanding, you were sentenced to death in 1990 to die by lethal injection, or I think it's an electric chair at this time.
Yes, sir.
1991, a tragic incident happened in your life while on death row. You was visited by family members, your wife, kids, and parents.
Right.
On the way home from coming to see you, your support group, your closest support system, a tragic accident happened and you lost. What exactly happened? How many did you lose at this time in a bad car wreck?
I lost my wife, Joanne, who died on the scene. We lost her mother, Miss May. She was killed instantly, and we lost our oldest daughter, Nikki, who passed the next morning, Sacred Heart.
My God, you lost three of the closest. This is kind of hard to fathom because when I first heard your story, it was just too much for me to comprehend. And for people that really think they're having a hard time in life, they don't understand what's really hard until, you know, the average person probably could not even fathom going through what you have been through. Sentenced to death, the next year you lose people that came to see you that were so close to you, your support system. You lose them through an accident. How is it possible? This was a long time ago.
Yes.
How is it possible that you make it through those tough times, unbearable, unimaginable times, while sitting on death row and lost everyone close to you?
It's faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. He made the difference. Jesus made the difference in my life and continue to do so, and that's the only way that I am alive and breathing this day, almost 35 years later. It's been Jesus Christ. That was the only way, because I was just a little baby Christian.
And you told me you didn't want to live any longer. After that day, after July the 5th, 1991, you did not want to live any longer.
I didn't want to live
because you lost the few people left that you had, your family. You lost everything.
I felt responsible.
You felt responsible because they was coming to visit you and to support you.
My poor decisions prior to that led up to, I felt like it led up to the consequences of what happened. If it had not been for my poor decisions, the way I was living my life,
yes,
living a life,
Yeah.
then I would not have been on death row. I wouldn't have forfeited, and put my family at risk like that. And I wouldn't have brought that kind of drama, not only to my family, but the victim's family as well.
Yes.
And I already was feeling, already took responsibility for that.
Mm-hmm.
So then I up and lose three of the only people in the whole
world
that love me, really love me for me, and know me, and were there for me, no matter what. And they be taken away like that by a drunk driver.
And at some point, I think you got your case overturned in 1995. You came off death row.
I got my case overturned the very first time around in 1991, actually late 1991.
Oh, okay. Late night, 3 months after.
Through the appellate, it was filed by October, between October and December of 91.
And how long would you say that you was able to, like, your life became normal, even up under unbearable circumstances? You still got a life without sentence. How long did it take after that? Do you think your life became copable, meaning you was able to just cope with so much you'd have been through?
It's really been a walk of faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. It hadn't been all roses,
Amen.
but it hadn't been, all bad. Jesus, he said that in the world you have tribulations, trials, distress, and trouble. But trouble don't last always. And I'd rather endure and overcome all those challenges. Jesus than apart from him. That's the only way I've been able to make it.
It's the only way you've been able. Outside of your faith in Jesus, you could not make it. You would not be in. My God.
A long time ago. My God. Dead and in hell.
Thank you so much, my brother. I know that's even painful to even talk about. We appreciate you. I just hope this video just encourage somebody and touch somebody's life in a positive way.
Your relationships with the outside world die slowly. Phone calls are monitored, recorded, time limited. You can't say what you really think or feel. Visits happen through glass or in crowded rooms with guards listening. Letters take weeks and might be read by others. Every connection to your former life is filtered through systems designed to control, not facilitate. Your family watches you change and can't help. Your children grow up without you. Your spouse struggles alone and eventually stops struggling with you. Your friends move on because staying connected is hard and painful and eventually not worth the effort. You're forgotten by the world while trapped in a place where forgetting yourself would be mercy. You lose control over your own body. When you eat, when you shower, when you sleep, when you use the bathroom, all dictated by others. Your autonomy disappears completely. You're not making decisions anymore. You're following commands like a trained animal, and that's exactly how you're treated. Strip searches remind you daily that your body isn't yours anymore. You bend over, spread your cheeks, cough while guards inspect your cavities looking for contraband. It's violation disguised as security, degradation disguised as procedure. They're not just searching for weapons. They're reminding you that you're not human anymore.
3 months in, rookie, and I just got done feeding the tier. So you basically go down and give them their tray so they can eat. And I'm coming back and was about to sit down, and this alarm goes off. And so every cell is equipped with a small little button that they can push for only emergencies. But does that fucking happen? No, man. We're down there for, hey, CO, can you pass my magazine? CO, can I get another food tray? Like, half of the time it's fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? And so this one particular time, the alarm goes off, and of course, being the rookie, I got to go down there. So I start going down there, right? And the next thing you know, I start hearing kind of like a little thumping noise, somebody kind of grunting, and then I start hearing somebody screaming for help. And so I know something's going on, you know what I mean? So I shoot down there, and man, it's kind of tough. I kind of look to the left, and I see this convict, man. He's got about a 6-inch blade.
Young age, representing. But he ran across this guy. And when this guy jammed him up and asked him this and that, well, what's this? And who is this? And boom, boom, boom. Little homie didn't know nothing. So They jammed little homie up one time in the cell. It's always gonna be another dude somewhere that's on the same level as the, you know, the big homie. I ain't gonna say big homie, well, they big homie was. So they jammed him up in the cell, did what they did to him. I ain't gotta say it, y'all already know. After they got done, they made him leave out the cell and go back to his cell, which was on the second tier. The reason the police was able to find out, because, you know, they'll tell you, you can't report that. You better not go tell it. And so the dude was trying to go upstairs to his cell, but when he was going upstairs to his cell, the police was walking behind him to do, you know, just a random check. Well, I guess the police was too late for his random check. As the dude was walking up the steps, man, to get to the second tier, the police noticed feces balls. Now I'm gonna make it sound gruesome so y'all know it's true. Dookie balls. So y'all know this shit's real. This is what you can get yourself into if you go in a penitentiary, especially if you're weak. This can happen to you. I'm not just sitting here blowing hot air, man. I'm trying to stop y'all from making dumb decisions and going there. But as he was walking up the stairs, Dookie balls was falling out of his pants leg.
Your identity erases gradually. You wear the same uniform as everyone else. You follow the same schedule as everyone else. You become a number, a classification, a security level, a problem to be managed. Your individual humanity gets systematically destroyed until you're just another inmate in an orange jumpsuit, undistinguishable from the hundreds of others who look exactly like you. Personal possessions are limited to what fits in a small box. Your entire life, all your memories, everything that defined you reduced to a few photographs and letters that fit in a shoebox. That's what your existence is worth in here. That's all you're allowed to have of who you used to be. You adapt to survive. And adaptation destroys who you were. You learn to be violent when necessary. You learn to lie constantly. You learn to prioritize yourself over others. You learn to live without things you thought were essential: privacy, choice, comfort, safety, love, purpose. You discover you can survive without them, and that knowledge changes you permanently.
The yard chilling and smoking. Now in Arizona, most niggas used to be scared to smoke weed. They would mainly smoke spice. Based on spice didn't show up in your drug test and niggas wasn't trying to catch no more time. Me, I didn't give two fucks because I was maxing out anyway. So anyways, we all on the yard and we chilling in the dugout. It's me, a couple neighborhood niggas, a nigga from Playboy Style Crip, a nigga from Devil Lanes, and a nigga from Bounty Hunters, but the Bounty Hunters in North Carolina. And while we all smoking, just chopping it up, next thing you know, this white boy come over to the dugout. He come over, pull out a stick of some spice, and fire that motherfucker up and start smoking. Now I guess since he got high off the spice, next thing you know, he decided he wanted to tell us his life story. That's when he started telling us like he caught a murder when he was 13 years old and he been in jail ever since, and how he pretty much threw his life away and never had a real childhood, how his mom and dad abandoned him and nobody cared about him. He only had one girlfriend in his whole life, and how she moved on when he went to jail and all type of shit. So we all just standing around listening to this nigga while he tell his life story, right? That's when out of nowhere this nigga like, yeah, I had more sex in jail than I had on the street. I look like, what? And the crazy part is, it seemed like I was the only one that really noticed what the fuck he said. So I'm like, what you mean you had sex more times in jail than you had on the street? Like you had a CO bitch or something? That's when he say something along the lines of, shit, I wish. Talking about he used to get high off crystal meth and do some weird shit. So now me and the homies, we laughing at the nigga like, what the fuck? This nigga weird. The homie from North Carolina, Bounty Hunter's like, man, get your weird ass up out of here and tell the nigga to go on. That's when he leave and go back into the building. So boom, Rec end end up closing and we all go back to our buildings and shit. So bam, the next day come and it's time for us to go to breakfast, but they not calling us out for some reason. Turns out the yard is on lockdown. Why the fuck that same nigga end up hanging himself the next day? But when we first went on lockdown, I didn't know it was him because I'm in a whole nother building. But the nigga from Bounty Hunters is in the same building with him. Now the way Arizona prisons is set up, it's runs. And runs are like hallway dorms. So everybody use the same bathroom area. So when they let us off lockdown, we go back to the dugout. That's when the nigga from Bounty Hunters come like, hey man, that was that same white boy that was talking to us about that weird shit yesterday. He had ended up going into the bathroom stall and he seen a nigga hanging in the bathroom. That's when I'm like, damn, that's crazy. No wonder he came out here talking about his whole life story and shit. But yeah, man, that just goes to show, man, you hear and see some crazy shit when you're in prison. So stay up out that motherfucker.
The person your family is waiting for doesn't exist anymore. Prison doesn't just take time. It takes personality, values, capacity for empathy, ability to trust, skills for normal social interaction. You're not the same. You can't be. The environment systematically destroyed that person and replaced them with someone built to survive in conditions that require you to become something less than fully human.
Let me know, let me know.
They don't know the Glock.
Let me know, let me know. Let me know before I go. Let me know before I go what the road. Let me know if you're gonna hold it down. I don't need no opinion, baby. I need someone who won't stick around. If they throw me a long sentence, baby, no hesitation and visitation. I need love, no competition. Let us in bitches through situations. Will you be there to fix it, baby? Let me know if you're gonna hold it down. I don't need no opinion, baby. I need someone who won't stick around. If they throw me a long sentence, baby, no hesitation and visitation. I need love, no competition. Let us in pictures through situations. Will you be there to fix it, baby? Let me know, let me know. Let me know, let me know. Let me know before I go. Let me know before I go up the road. Let me know if you're gonna hold it down. I don't need no opinion, baby. I need someone who won't stick around. If they throw me a long sentence, baby, no hesitation and visitation. I need love, no competition. Let us in pictures do situations. Will you be there to fix it, baby? Let me know, let me know. Let me know, let me know. Let me know before I go. Let me know before I go up the road. I can be stressing when I hit the road. I gotta have me a peace of mind. Let me know if you're really down for sure. If not, it's gonna be a little long ride. It's hard to function when you behind doors, cause a lot be on a nigga mind. My kid, my girl, my mama, my brother, there's too much going on at one time. I can no longer sleep with your baby. I gotta cuddle up with design. Penitentiary overcrowded with killers. I gotta make sure I'm protecting mine. I'm a serious, I don't wanna be little. Need noodles and butter like all the time. I just need you to be here, right by niggas. I can't wait till I get out so we can just stand on haters. We don't need an invader. Let's focus on paper. Let's get the fuck off of the radar. Ooh, I need love unlimited. Need loyalty, no friendly shit. So girl, let me know it's intimate. I need to know it's into it. Give me a green light, I'ma go. Baby, just hang tight, I'm in the gas.